Seguimos hablando de más noticias, noticias internacionales. Teresita Aya, buenos días.
Buenos días, Juan Camilo. Buenos días a todos.
Hoy tenemos una gran historia para contar a propósito de la guerra en Medio Oriente. Lynn Harfouch es una activista política libanesa y ha denunciado durante varios años la presencia de Hezbollah en su territorio, pero también tiene una postura bien particular frente a lo que ha hecho Israel allí en su país. Y unas anotaciones muy importantes que de hecho Teresita las ha hecho no solo en entrevistas como lo va a hacer a continuación, sino también ante el mismo Consejo de Seguridad de las Naciones Unidas. Ella creció en un entorno muy complicado, creció en un entorno donde Hezbollah mandaba, donde Hezbollah era el líder de su región. Su nombre es Lynn Harfouch y la saludamos a esta hora en Noticias Caracol en vivo. Teresita, salúdela, por favor.
Good morning, Ms. Harfouch, and welcome to Caracol Noticias. Thank you so much for being with us.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Y quiero arrancar por eso precisamente, Teresita. ¿Cómo es crecer en un entorno donde Hezbollah manda?
The first question has to do with your upbringing. You grew up in a place in Lebanon where you interacted with Hezbollah from day one in your life. How is it growing up with Hezbollah?
Well, as you have said, I grew up in a Hezbollah stronghold, the Beirut southern suburb, which are now completely evacuated due to the Israeli evacuation alerts. Growing up with Hezbollah means mostly two things. One, that they try to pull you away from the other communities and convince you that they are the only protectors of the Shiite community. And two, they normalize war. They feed off war, and they make you think that going to war over and over again is the only way to be protected. So it was not a very safe environment, unfortunately, and up until now, Hezbollah continues to drag us into wars with Israel and wars with the other communities.
Nos dice que era muy difícil y que era estar sometidos de alguna manera a la voluntad de Hezbollah en la zona. Hezbollah trataba no solo de incorporarlos en su lucha, sino de dividirlos cuando no podía. Un poco, me imagino, divide y reinarás, claro. La estrategia de ellos. Un grupo muy complicado que sigue arrastrándolos a guerras con Israel y con otros y que sigue generando violencia.
Teresita, ¿ella cree que Hezbollah persigue más los intereses de Irán que del propio Líbano?
Are Hezbollah's interests more favoring Iran than Lebanon, or do they have Lebanon's interest at heart?
They definitely do not have Lebanon's interest at heart. Hezbollah is an armed militia that has been funded by the Revolutionary Guards for the past 30 years. So there is no way that Iran would be investing in such an armed militia had it not been doing its interests. Not only this, but Hezbollah has constantly proven that it puts the Iranian interests at first. And the latest example of that is the fact that Hezbollah dragged Lebanon into yet another deadly and very costly war after the supreme leader was killed by the Americans and the Israelis. So yet again, Hezbollah brags about being a follower of Iran and being funded by Iran. And another latest incident now, which included the Lebanese authorities declaring the Iranian ambassador persona non grata, which means refusing him continuing to do his mandate. And unfortunately, Hezbollah has again done a revolution against the state and refused this decision, saying that Iranian interests and the best of the Iranian regime is what controls its actions, and thus they have demanded and they have enforced that the Iranian ambassador does not follow the Lebanese authorities' commands, and he is now staying on Lebanese land even though he is a persona non grata.
That leads me to a second question, and that's Hezbollah has been involved in Lebanese politics for decades now. They had seats in the parliament and they were involved in decisions. What were they doing at that time, representing Iran from inside the Lebanese government?
I think what Hezbollah has been doing all this time, via its supposedly political arm, is weakening the Lebanese state. Hezbollah, during all the past years, have made sure to prevent any real reforms and any real building of the Lebanese state and its powers, because it needed to maintain its power over this country. So anytime there is something related to the funding of the Lebanese army, or even with taking care of the Lebanese citizens in terms of their basic needs, Hezbollah would oppose this, because this is the way Hezbollah maintains its control over its community, and it is by proving that the state is not capable of protecting them, and that the state does not really acknowledge them as part of Lebanon. And this is why it maintained its control over the Shiite community up until this moment.
Nos cuenta Juan Camilo que Hezbollah, como tú decías, sí trabaja para Irán, no representa los intereses del Líbano, está financiado, patrocinado, armado por Irán, y tan es así que, por ejemplo, cuando mataron a Jamenei, el líder supremo, fue el primero de estos grupos en buscar una venganza y empezar a atacar a Israel, llevando el país nuevamente a una guerra innecesaria, que solo piensa en los intereses de Irán. Líbano, por ejemplo, nos contaba, expulsó al embajador de Irán del Líbano, y Hezbollah se ha entrometido en esa decisión, protegiendo al embajador y diciéndole, usted se queda, usted no se va y nosotros lo protegemos, desacatando los intereses del Líbano, a lo cual le pregunté que cómo entonces Hezbollah funciona como partido político también, está representado en el Parlamento libanés y ha fungido durante décadas un papel político. Y me dice, el brazo político de Hezbollah en el Líbano, lo único que busca es desestabilizar al Líbano y quitarle poder al verdadero gobierno, debilitar el Estado. Y cada vez que hay una decisión en la que pueden decir algo, su único interés es mostrar que el Estado es incapaz de tomar decisiones y que ellos son los que están mandando desde adentro y desde afuera.
A partir de todo eso, quiero ir un poco a la situación humanitaria y quiero dejarle la pregunta muy general. ¿Ella puede describirnos, Teresita, cómo es la situación en el sur del Líbano?
The next question is a very general question. We want to leave it open for you to describe it to us and talk a little bit about the humanitarian situation in southern Lebanon.
Lebanon right now is under one of the worst war situations. Unfortunately, more than 1 million people have been displaced. Just today, there were Israeli announcements saying that 600,000 people have moved away from the south and that they will work actively to prevent them from going back to their homes. There are approximately 200,000 people who live in public shelters and many others who live on the streets. And this is a real humanitarian crisis. Not only this, but also most of the public shelters are schools, which means even the education sector has been affected in Lebanon. Not to mention the fact that Hezbollah coming up and threatening the other communities constantly is even causing an internal conflict and a bit of fear of other communities related to the Shiite one. Specifically because Hezbollah targeted leaders are going and hiding in areas that are considered as safe area. So on a humanitarian scale, it's been very hard. The government has been doing its best, and the Ministry of Public Affairs has been trying to help all the displaced, but of course the resources are limited, and this means that people are finding themselves in very hard conditions, and the continuation of the Israeli bombing is not helping at all. The biggest fear right now regarding the south of Lebanon is for these people to never be able to return to their homes. There are entire villages that have been wiped, and there are many houses that have been destroyed, and there is approximately 10 to 15% of the Lebanese area, specifically in the south, that has been evacuated. And this is very dangerous, and we are very concerned that the Israelis are not going to withdraw. And this is basically the number one thing that we are asking the international community to work on, to guarantee the withdrawal of Israeli forces, because we refuse to give up any inch of our land.
Talk about international organizations. You spoke recently at the Security Council at the UN. Do you think they really have the power to do something about this?
I honestly think that the international community has had a big role in legitimizing Hezbollah in my country. There have been many administrations that have neglected Hezbollah's danger on Lebanon just because they were doing some major international deals, and specifically with Iran. And I think the international community needs to step up right now, because the continuation of this Israeli aggression, along with the continuation of Hezbollah's hegemony over the Shiite community, means there will be continuous non-stability in the region. And it is in everyone's interest that Lebanon prospers to go back to be a safe and a peaceful country. And this is what the Lebanese want. And this is exactly the message that I was trying to portray at the Security Council, saying that us Lebanese did not choose war, and we need this humanitarian aid that is being presented to the government, but it is not a humanitarian crisis that we are in right now. Only there is a much bigger political crisis. And the Lebanese armed forces need to be supported by the international community, because they are the only legitimate force, the credible one that all Lebanese can gather behind. And right now, the Lebanese armed forces need to be stronger and need to be better equipped to be able to fight both Hezbollah and Israel.
Nos dice que la crisis humanitaria efectivamente es una crisis desastrosa. Más del 15% del país ha sido evacuado. 600.000 personas de las evacuadas, por ejemplo, dice ella, de cerca de 1 millón, ya saben que a su casa no van a volver nunca, porque sus pueblos han sido aniquilados. Ya no existen con esto la invasión israelí y los bombardeos israelí, la guerra contra Hezbollah. Dice que es una situación humanitaria realmente terrible, que los que viven, además refugiados, viven todo el día bajo amenazas de Hezbollah, que les dice o vuelven, mientras que los otros están bombardeando y acabando con sus casas y no tienen a dónde volver. Se sienten un poco solos en el mundo. El gobierno trata de darles refugio, el gobierno trata de acogerlos, pero no tiene los recursos, no tiene la plata y sobre todo no tiene la credibilidad para hacerlo. Por eso habló ella de las organizaciones internacionales, Juan Camilo, y le pregunté por su discurso ante Naciones Unidas y si cree que esta organización hoy en día está en posición de hacer algo. Y dice que desafortunadamente han sido muchos los años en que organismos internacionales los acusó de negligencia, fue la palabra que usó. Han sido negligentes con el Líbano y han dejado, por mantener un status quo ahí medio tranquilo, que Hezbollah se crezca. Y han dejado de lado el apoyo que hubieran podido darle al ejército y al país. Y que en este momento las fuerzas normales, el ejército, las fuerzas del Estado, están demasiado debilitadas y sin ayuda internacional no se va a lograr acabar esto.
Quiero hacerle la última pregunta, y es, ¿qué opina de que Israel tenga la idea de ocupar parte del sur del Líbano?
And this may be our last question. How do you feel about Israel's occupation of southern Lebanon?
This is an occupation we completely reject. We refuse to give up an inch of this country. The south of Lebanon, even though it was under Hezbollah's hegemony, is still Lebanese land, and us Lebanese refuse to give that up. Israel needs to withdraw its troops immediately. There can be no solution to all of this war except a diplomatic one. We need to start the negotiations as soon as possible for a longer pace, for a longer deal on peace, to make sure that there is stability for both Lebanon and the Israelis. But we will not accept that the Hezbollah's hegemony in the south gets replaced by Israeli occupation.
You talked about sovereignty, it being Lebanese land. Sometimes sovereignty is defined as control and legitimacy. The Lebanese government has legitimacy, but it lacks control. Hezbollah has control. Does it have legitimacy?
Hezbollah does not have any legitimacy, and Hezbollah has proven over and over again that it is an Iranian arm in Lebanon. Even though the Shiite community perceives Hezbollah as an actual resistance, what we need to see right now is that Hezbollah has dragged Israel back and has dragged occupation back into Lebanese land to re-legitimize itself. Yet, all of the other communities, and a lot from the Shiite community itself, refuse Hezbollah and its claim of resistance, because we have seen it drag us into wars over and over again. the control and the legitimacy belong only to the Lebanese state, and that is the Lebanese armed forces. And even though right now their control is not at its best, this is why there has to be more support coming to the Lebanese armed forces to be able to fight both Hezbollah and Israel.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us. And we want to express our solidarity with Southern Lebanon.
Thank you very much.
Teresita, ¿podemos entender su última respuesta?
Sí. La última respuesta tiene que ver con la ocupación del sur del Líbano. Una ocupación que lleva ya varios días, pero no es la primera vez que se da. Y ella dice es totalmente ilegítima. Esto no se debe dar, eso es tierra soberana del Estado libanés. Y Líbano tiene que recuperar esa zona. Ahora, tiene que haber de alguna manera un apoyo para las fuerzas del Líbano que le permitan generar y crear estabilidad en esa zona, no solamente al Líbano, estabilidad a la parte norte de Israel, porque necesitamos que haya estabilidad en ambas partes de la frontera para que no haya más ocupaciones y más guerra. Necesitamos la vía diplomática, a lo cual le pregunté, Juan Camilo, dicen en soberanía que la soberanía de los estados tiene dos grandes componentes, control y legitimidad. Le dije, en el sur del Líbano la legitimidad la tiene el gobierno libanés, pero el control lo tiene Hezbollah. ¿Tiene Hezbollah alguna legitimidad o hay manera de que se equilibren estos dos conceptos para los libaneses? Dijo, lo único que puede lograrlo es el apoyo que le den a las fuerzas militares del Líbano, y ese apoyo tiene que venir de afuera. Ese apoyo tiene que darle al Líbano el control y la legitimidad que tanto deseamos en el sur del país.
Pues muy bien, ahí estaba Lynn Harfouch, activista política libanesa, sin duda alguna un gran testimonio para este momento que está viviendo el Líbano. Teresita, gracias. Sí, usted muy amable.
Muchas gracias, Juan Camilo.